All right, good evening. I would like to call this meeting to order at 6:06 on April 22nd, Thursday. First, can we bring the flag up and we can all stand and say Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States
of America
and to the republic
for which it
which it
stands,
stands,
one
one
nation,
nation, under God,
indivisible,
indivisible, with
with
liberty
liberty and
and
justice
justice for all.
Thank you, Art. The Metro Cable announcement. The open session meeting is videotaped for cablecast on Metro Cable 14. Replay on Monday, April 26th at 6 p.m. and Tuesday, April 27th at 2 p.m. on Channel 14 webcast at www.sacmetrocable.tv. This is now the public opportunity to discuss matters of public interest within district jurisdiction, including items on or not on the agenda. Madam Clerk, do we have any?
I did not have anyone contact me beforehand. However, Art, if you could please unmute all participants and give them the opportunity to speak if they so wish.
Yes, attendees, you now have the ability to unmute yourselves. If there's anything you would like to present to the board, please do so now. Looks like no response.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to the consent agenda.
Madam Chair, I make a motion, we adopt consent.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, can you call the roll, please?
Director Gould,
Aye.
Orzali,
Aye.
Wood,
Aye.
Director Sheets is absent. Director Jones,
Aye.
White.
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Sailors,
Aye.
and Director Kelly is absent. Motion still passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. We now are moving into closed session. So if you would all close out your windows for this session and go into the other closed session call. Thank you.
The next item on the agenda, what is it, the action item?
We can report out of the closed session.
Okay, let's report out of the council. Please report out of the closed session.
All right, thank you, Director. The board met in closed session under Government Code Section 54956.9A regarding the industrial disability retirement matter pertaining to employee Brian Evers. No reportable action was taken. Thank you.
And I do see that Vice President Sailors is back with us.
Right on.
Thank
Sorry
you,
about
Director Clark.
Okay, perfect.
Thank you, Director Clark.
I held it down for you, sailors. Cindy. Sorry.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
So now that we're at our action item, can I get a motion, please?
So
Madam-
moved.
Second,
Second.
third,
Madam Clerk, can you read the roll, please?
Yes, Director Gould,
aye.
Orzali,
Aye.
Wood,
Aye.
Director Sheets is absent. Director Jones,
Aye.
White,
Aye.
Clark,
Aye.
Sailors,
Aye.
and Director Kelly is also absent. Motion passes.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Moving on to reports. President's report. President Kelly is absent. I have nothing to report. Moving on, Fire Chief's report. Chief Harms, how are you tonight?
I am doing good.
Thank you all. I just have a few things and I'll turn it over to Chief Mitchell. The first item is last week we started our Chiefs forums. Twice a year, myself and the deputies meet with all of the members in the district. Again, this year, we started again with our Zoom format where we'll do 2 sessions per shift and then 2 sessions for the professional staffs. So we started the first one on April 12th, and then we'll follow up with the rest of them next week. The second item that I have on here was that I know that you all were informed, but our ALS agreement with the county was executed. It was then moved from the county LIMSA to the state. The state accepted our ALS agreement and went ahead and agreed with our EMS plan for the complete region. That was just a great milestone for all of us for being able to get that in place and being able to move forward. There also is probably about 12 different agencies that were waiting to see what happened here, and we're able to really use our same format as our MOUs for being able to move forward. And as a reminder, part of that agreement also included the county recognizing our 201 rights for being able to do that and being able to move forward. The last thing, and I see that she got off of here and did not come back on, but this was Amanda Thomas's last meeting. If all of you'd like to reach out to her, I know some of you were on the finance committee report. We will miss Amanda, but we have started the search for a new replacement. We hired Terry Black and Associates to assist us with that. That ends my report, and now I'm going to turn it over to Chief Mitchell.
Hey, Chief Arms. Good evening, Vice President Sailors, directors, and all. From operations tonight, we got some updates. I'll start with EMS. On March 31st, we submitted our annual quality improvement plan to the SCEMSA. It's a large project the EMS division undertakes every year, and a lot of time, effort, energy goes into it. And it details all the aspects of our efforts to continually improve patient care in our EMS system. It was very well done, reported, and is available on our district website for the public to review as they would like to. So that's a big kudos to EMS for getting that done. We also completed over the last month plus the skills competency training, high risk, low used skills. We trained all up to 532 plus members. All went through different classroom sessions with hands-on training. Wound packing, chest decompressions, needle crike, TXA, ketamine, all kinds of different procedures and protocol reviews that occurred there. So that was a big undertaking, and it's good to get through that annual requirement to keep everybody up to date on that. And then finally from EMS, they're going through the CQI data to identify trends for training that's upcoming in July with the protocol updates. So they're data-driven decisions on what we need to focus on for our upcoming trainings and where we can do a better job in providing the success for our members out there providing the service every day. So second item I have is about our Sacramento Regional IMT. The team was activated this last week on the 20th when we received the verdict decision rather quickly from Minnesota. Sacramento Police Department put out a request to the region to activate the incident management team to assist them for preparation and operations. Currently, the team is working out of Cal Expo. It's just a couple of folks out there that are assisting day over day to make sure that we're in a position if anything does come up to be able to help Sacramento Police Department and really on the regional partnership to communicate amongst all the agencies and provide proactive approach to planning and preparedness, which has been a very good model for us to follow over the last year plus. We special operations, both of our bulldozers just returned this past weekend from training they go to in Southern California and Camp Pendleton. Very, very valuable skills that they're able to undertake down there. We logged over 400 hours of training for the operators that were able to attend over that couple of week period, which is phenomenal. They get to do things that we don't have here in our own backyard that keeps their competency level very high. But another output from that, which is great, is we're ready for the fire season. And I think even better is that we have 2 new operators that were in the trainee status that were able to get enough stick time down there in addition to their training prior to going, that they're going to become qualified for this fire season to increase our capacity. So that's great news from that. For statistics, I'll talk a little bit about calls. We had 3,986 total calls since our last report. That's the fourth meeting in a row. We've seen a jump. This one was pretty big. We added over the last 2 weeks almost 14 calls per day in the district for 201 additional calls. And so we're continuing to see the uptick in our folks being busy out there, and they're doing a great job. We've had 13 building fires our crews responded to, 5 of those within just our district itself. We had a few of them here recently that were pretty high complexity with some search and rescue operations and things that went on. And our busiest engine company, no surprise, is going to be Engine 53, and our busiest medic was Medic 101. And then finally tonight, as you probably are aware and watching our fuels, grasses start to change color on the foothills around us. We're in constant communication within the operations branch, as well as with our regional partners, state partners, to discuss when we're going to make that transition into wildland fire season. We do have equipment in the stations now that have been seeing a little uptick in response, nothing significant as of yet, as far as any large fires or damage to infrastructure, but we're looking at when we're going to transition over the next few weeks, most likely, and then when we're going to go to full peak staffing with our bulldozer and our air operations. So that will be forthcoming. We'll keep you apprised of that. And I think that's about it for me. Unless there's any questions, I'll end the report. Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions?
Yeah, Chief. How many operating engineers do we have employed? Just out of curiosity.
Total engineers, driving apparatus, you mean?
Yeah, doing operating the bulldozer, operating engineers.
Bulldozer operators.
Yeah,
we have we're at 3 right now. So putting those additional 2 is really going to help us for vacation. So we'll be up to 5, and then we're looking at bringing another apprentice or 2 on over the next year to continue to grow that. So it's really going to help us out during those busy times when we opt to staff up another bulldozer on a red flag day if we have the second dozer in service. And so we're really excited to get those 2 additional folks qualified.
Right on. Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you, Chief Mitchell. Moving on to Local 522.
Good evening. I have nothing to report tonight.
Thank you. Moving on to committee and delegate reports. Executive Committee has nothing to report. Communications Center JPA, Deputy Chief Wagaman.
Good evening, directors. Hope everyone is doing well. Tyler Wagaman, Support Services Deputy Chief, reporting out from our last meeting, which was on April 13th for the JPA Dispatch Board. The board did approve a contract name change for Northrop Grumman to Peraton. So really the first question I had to ask was when we were going to get our bicycles. But I was quickly educated that this was Peraton and not Peloton. So I was disappointed. Our recruits are doing well in the academy. They've entered, actually just finishing up the 7th week. The curriculum we're kind of keeping an eye on right now. The Dispatch Academy in the past has been 10 weeks in total, but with the integration of the new ProQA software, that seems so far to have streamlined some of those processes. So it sounds like they might be finishing a little bit early in week 8 or week 9. And lastly, Dispatch Appreciation Week was last week. If we circle back to a year ago, we were hit really hard with COVID-19, and our ability to appreciate directly what they do day in and day out for that week was a real challenge for us. So it was somewhat of a dud. This year, it was very nice for the agencies to step up and sponsor a day, and we all had an opportunity to visit the dispatch floor just briefly to say hello and provide them some goodies. So certainly a big step up from what we were able to provide last year, and hopefully next year we can step it up just a few more notches. So a big appreciation for our dispatchers for what they do day in and day out. And lastly, to conclude my report, I'll be reporting out at our next meeting, which is going to be May 11th at 9 o'clock at the Metro Board Chambers. Any questions for me?
Thank you, DC Wagaman. Moving on, California Fire and Rescue Training JPA, Chief Harms.
Our April 15th meeting was canceled and rescheduled for June 17th. End of report.
Thank you. Finance and Audit Committee, Director Orzali.
Thank you, Madam President. The Finance and Audit Committee met this evening. We received a presentation from CFO and from our CFO and regarding the present status of the budget and tracking where it is intended to go. Not unexpectedly, the budget is absolutely dead on track for our predicted expenditures. And I'm pleased to report that we have, even in these times, been able to maintain the 15% reserve levels that had been targeted. And this is my next opportunity to express my personal appreciation for what CFO Thomas has done for the organization. She's been a credit to us, and I'm truly sorry to see her leave. End of the report.
Thank you, Director Orzali. Next, the Policy Committee, Director Gould.
No report.
Thank you very much. Moving on. Director's comments. Shall we start with Gay Jones?
Thank you, Madam Chair. I have well, I do have a comment. Echoing Director Orzali's thank you to Amanda Thomas. But like I told Amanda, we all know where she's going, so we can keep on harassing her if we need to. But thank you for all your years of work and dedication to Metro Fire, Amanda. We really appreciate that. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Madam Chair. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Director Jones. Director Wood.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I would just echo that comment as well. Amanda and her team have brought our organization up to another level, and look forward. It's going to be hard to replace her, but I wish her all the best in her future. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Director Wood. Director White.
No report.
Thank you. Director Orzali.
Thank you. I will be brief. As an FYI to the board members, there are two items that I'm going to be bringing to the board for discussion regarding the items that were in the consent agenda earlier. And so I'm going to bring these up for us as a topic to discuss about whether or not we want to provide additional information to the public through our website about the various fees that we charge and definitions of those fees, so that it's more easily understood. That's the end of my report.
Thank you, Director Orzali. Director Gould.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Really quickly, I think our search team for a new CFO should expand intergalactically. I think the opportunity that we've seen with our CFO is unparalleled, and the transparency that our organization and the financial stability that we enjoy today, I think is a direct result of her leadership along with other members of the executive team. Enough can't be said about how blessed we've been as an agency to have someone of her caliber. And again, how blessed we are to know that she's just going next door, as it were. But I really believe that in North America, we're going to be hard pressed. So I'd encourage them to look around the globe for somebody who has that skill set. And then finally, I'd just like to give a shout out to that unknown logistician who every day gets up and comes to our logistics center and works tirelessly to ensure that everything is in order. I don't know who they are. I don't know their name, and that's probably a discredit to me, but I just want to give them a shout out because much of what happens in our organization could not occur if we didn't have the fine men and women of that organization as well. Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Director Gould. Director Clark.
Madam Chair, following Director Gould, I couldn't say much more about Amanda. More than thank you, and good luck on your new endeavor. And we wish you all the luck, and thank you for helping us understand the budget in a very graphic way and just really professional. Yeah, it's been a pleasure. So thank you.
Thank you, Director Clark. I would like to thank everyone for allowing me the pleasure of leading this meeting tonight and tolerating some technical difficulties. It was my pleasure to serve you tonight. And I too would like to express my thanks to Amanda for her leadership to her team and her professionalism for taking care of the books for this district. And I'd like to take a shout out to all of the members out there that continue every day to show up and do their job and to the best of their abilities for the district and do it so professionally without ever being asked. They just come to work every day and do the best they can out there for the public. Thank you very much. I do call this meeting adjourned. Thank you. Good night.
Good job, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
All right.